Hi everyone, welcome back to Planet Dirt. My name is Alicia and we're going to be harvesting today. I made an oopsie. So when you plant things, read the packages. I know it should be like the most obvious thing in the entire world, but the type of shallots that I got, I think they're supposed to be like long and skinny and not like the traditional like bulb, like small little bulb that you would get like in the grocery store or something. But I looked up when you harvest shallots, right? And everything I read said that you should harvest them like onions, like when the tops start to fall over. But the variety that I got, I don't think they really do that because they don't really bulb. They just keep growing long and tall and skinny. And so I'm going to get in here and harvest these because I was waiting to harvest them because I really want to get some fall stuff started in here. I want to get a couple of rows of carrots going. And I need the space, y'all. I need the space. The rest of the onions are well on their way. They're almost there. And I was just sitting here waiting for these shallots to do something, and they're not doing anything. While we're in the greenhouse, it's pretty toasty, so I'm probably going to try to get through this really quick. But while we're in the greenhouse, I do want to pop over to the tomatoes. In the last video I posted, I started trimming them out, and it was just taking forever, y'all. I had not pruned tomatoes in 2 months, and the greenhouse is not that big. The greenhouse is just not that big. It's not that tall, and so I don't have a lot of vertical space to be for plants to be vining up and doing things. So it was a little out of hand. It was a little cramped in there. So I got in there and I finished that up, and it looks great, and I can actually see what's going on. I needed to finish it up because while I was in there, I actually found a few red tomatoes that I couldn't see because it was just too cramped. I don't know. I'll link the video. It was pretty rough back there. So I went in there and I cleaned that up, and it looks great now. All right. So there's a little bit of a cross breeze. So it's not too terrible in here, but it is still pretty hot and humid. I think it's supposed to be up to, I want to say like 97 today. But it's hotter than that in the greenhouse, of course. But you can actually see what's going on. There's still some diseased leaves back in there, but I can actually see the diseased leaves, which is really great. And look, I got a couple of tomatoes that are ripening. So I'm going to get in there and harvest those today too. I still have a little bit of trimming to do, but overall I'm pretty happy because I can actually see what's going on. Over here, I pulled out a full one of the dwarf varieties in here. There's still one left in there, but I did pretty harshly trim it back. And then I do have to still do this part. But there is a cherry tomato in here that I just need to find the base of the cherry tomato under there. And I'm going to find the base and just start pulling from there. And hopefully that will minimize the damage. I also found an eggplant, and I'm so excited. So I thought that this was going to be, I've never grown eggplant before. And for some reason, I just didn't read the package apparently, or I read so many packages that they all start to blend together in your head, right? So I thought that was like a small, like baseball size, like personal little eggplant. It's not a full big giant eggplant. It's a Rosa Bianca, I think, eggplant. And it's not a giant one, but it's not a tiny one either. It's kind of in the middle. It's like 6-ish inches long, and it is still pretty thick. And so I thought that it was going to grow really fast because it was smaller. It's not really working out that way, but hey, this is why we experiment. All right, I'm going to get in here, and these are the shallots. So I need to get in here because the vines are starting to take over a little bit. So I need to get in here and pull these out. But these shallots are pretty hefty. And when I was reading about this variety, because I really wanted to harvest them so that I can make room for carrots, it said that you can harvest them as soon as the tapers start drying out, which these definitely have. And here I was waiting for them to like fall over like an onion and break at the neck, and they just don't do that. So I was waiting for something that's never going to happen. All right. So I have a harvesting basket that I'm actually going to use this paper box. And I love me a good energy drink, so don't judge my... That's really the major unhealthy thing that I did in my life is drink energy drinks. So we all gotta have something, right? So look at that though. That's a pretty good size shallot. It looks really great. So I did read that you can pull them and then cure them just like you would an onion. So I'm going to put them in this box here so that I can take them over to what I have dubbed my curing station. Even though that's not really what it is. It's just a... Oh, see, look at how beautiful that is. It looks so good. I'm so excited about my shallots this year, you guys. These look absolutely beautiful. The first year that I grew shallots, oh man, they looked like green onions. They were so pathetically sad. I think they all looked like this. All right, and this is what we are left with. I do need to come in here and weed, obviously, but I'm thinking I'm going to put a couple of rows of carrots, maybe a row of beets in here, and then onions that are in the next bed over. They're getting close. They're getting close. Move these peppers out of the way. I'm going to come in here today, and I'm going to harvest those cubanelles, because they're starting to turn color. And I think you are supposed to harvest them green. So some of these, like that's a pretty big bulb right there. It's kind of sunk into the ground. I probably planted it a little deep. Some of them are looking really good. Some of them are tiny. But honestly, I think I planted them a little too close to the peppers this year. I've done that before, but I think I had the onions in the ground a lot earlier. And so it gave them a chance to size up for a few weeks before I got the peppers in. And this year I did not do that. So I am going to come in here, and I think there's some jalapenos starting to turn red on me. So I'm going to get in there and get those. I do want to make some red pepper jelly this year. So yeah, if memory serves, you can use hot and sweet peppers. So if I throw a couple of jalapenos in there, then it'll just be a slightly spicy red pepper jelly. Like if I have like 3 red jalapenos in a giant batch, and it ends up being spread over the course of like 7 jars is what one recipe does, then it'll probably be just like a hint of spice, which will be good for me because I'm a wimp. So I'm going to get in there and start harvesting some peppers. I did bring my basket as well because I knew I was going to have to do some harvesting, but I'm going to harvest and then get out of this greenhouse because it's really hot, and then we'll talk about everything that I found in here. All right, and just before we leave, this is my succession of squash and zucchini, and I'm really glad that I did this because I didn't get any regular zucchini off of those plants that got smothered out. So I'm pretty sure this is the lemon squash. That one's gray zucchini. The ones with this variegation, I think those are gray zucchini, and then I think this one is the Bianca de Triste, I want to say. So I'm super excited. Those plants have completely taken off, and I should be getting some fruit in the next couple of weeks. Super excited. Oh, and one last thing while we're over here. So I just posted a short, oh goodness, like not even a week ago, about all of the blackberries that I harvested, and I already got to come out here and do it again because there are so many, which I'm certainly not complaining. But honestly, I never thought I'd get anything out of those plants. Those plants I think this is the 3rd year I've had them. So it's been a long time coming, and they're finally producing like crazy, and I could not be more thrilled. All right, so here's today's haul. So I have a ton of peppers. Most of these are peppers. I have a green bell pepper, which I'm very excited about. I never get bell peppers to grow. And honestly, I don't have a ton off of that plant, but hey, I'll take what I can get. The jalapenos, I let a few of them get a little too ripe, but that's okay. I mean, they still taste fine. They'll still cook up fine. And honestly, if I roast them and put them in salsa, or I'm going to be cooking them down for red pepper jelly probably. I'm thinking a lot of these red peppers I'm just going to toss in the freezer so that when I have enough I can make some red pepper jelly. So I'm excited about that because I wanted to do that last year and I just didn't have enough peppers that were red in time. So these are Cubanelles, and they were starting to turn color, so I went and grabbed them. There's a few more actually green ones on the plant, but this one is like perfect. That they just weren't ready yet. And then I got another green scallop squash. I've gotten so many green scallop squash, I swear. And then here are all of the shallots. So I'm going to get these laid out really quick on some cardboard so that they can start curing. All right, so when I was digging through my cardboard pile, I found this one and it has little holes in it. So I honestly thought that would be perfect. Get a little extra airflow going through here. And I'm setting these on what is the north side of my house. So these won't get any direct sunlight. And it is incredibly dry here. So we tend to not get a lot of rain. When we do, it's like a big deal. But these are right outside my back door. So if we do have any rain coming, which is unlikely, but it could happen, you never know, I can really quickly just run out here and throw a tarp over this. If you live in a place where it rains, then you should probably try to find a cover or find a place that is covered to do this with your onions and your garlic and all that stuff. I'm honestly like so impressed, guys, by the size of these things. Like legit, last year I got all of them were like this size. All of them were super tiny. And I mean, I ate them. We used them as just like an onion or like green onions, but they certainly weren't enough to be throwing anything to change the flavor or give it that extra oomph. All right, thanks for coming along with me today, you guys. I hope I see you next time. Bye.